Yeah.
Very happy to hear that.
Yes. So, tell us, Zamoody, how was your week?
I was waiting to see if Renara was going to say something too,
How
but
was
that's
your
fine.
week?
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's perfect.
Did you know that in the UK it is pronounced McDonald's and
Oh
not
my God.
McDonald's?
So Renara
It's
was
Mackie
telling
D's,
it.
guys.
No,
Come on.
it's Mickey D's.
Old
or
MacDonald
Mackey's.
had a farm.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome back to Cold Read the Podcast. For today's intro, I'm not going to be doing the whole, oh no, AI are consuming me and coming to life thing. Yes, I realize I just spoiled my own little side story. No, don't care. Why would I do this, you may ask? Well, to put it bluntly, I am disappointed in the voice acting community and how a portion of them refuse to accept clear and, frankly, obvious facts. If I am correct, today's episode will be covering a video from Paul Schmidt that will help clear up why I am so irritated. But the facts that I want to discuss are these. Number 1. By choosing the voiceover or voice acting path, you are effectively starting a business with your voice being the product that people pay you to use. Number 2. The business of voice acting is not an easy one to follow and requires many, many hours of training, as well as investment either from you or from someone else. Number 3. We all want this journey to be fun and happy and sunshine and unicorn sharts all the time, right? Well, as much as I personally wish that was the case, it generally doesn't go over that easily. Mostly because you are trying to run a business, and doing so can be stressful, oftentimes requiring sacrifices on your behalf. Hopefully you understand where I'm coming from here. Voice acting, voiceover, freelancing, it is a business. And if you want to develop it into a full-time career, you need to start treating it as such. Case in point, Paul has been in the industry for a long time now, and he obviously knows the ins and outs. Yet, with his latest video, the one we are about to listen to, hopefully, it caused a bit of an outrage from people on Reddit. And while this is certainly not uncommon, I felt like people's ideas of what professional voiceover should look or sound like are severely clouded or narrow-minded. One comment read, "I wish, for once, somebody, anybody, would be honest and just say, I don't want competition. So I'm going to continually spread the mantra of, go take endless classes, go take coaching, buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment, etc., so that newcomers get scared off." I'm sorry to say, my dear friends, but this individual is very misguided. All businesses take time and money to get off the ground. This is why a lot of them take out loans in order to cover the startup costs of the business. Hell, you can certainly do the same as long as you have an LLC or something similar, something that the bank recognizes. Not only that, but you need training in your craft if you expect to excel at it. And that is a cold, hard fact. If money were no object, would you rather have a plate of spaghetti made by Gordon Ramsay or a bowl of SpaghettiOs? And I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna go for the SpaghettiO choice. Funny. This is not a joking time. This is serious time. Before we get to the show, I want to say this. Yes, I understand that I have no room to talk on this matter. And it does sound like I am defending Paul tooth and nail, or, sucking something. I don't agree with everything that he says all the time. For instance, in this video, he refers to the voice acting community as a cancer in a technical way. Well, I think his choice of adjective could have been better, but I do recognize why he chose to use that word. However, on this matter, you cannot refute the facts. If you want to be a professional voice actor, you need to start treating this like a business. You'll understand more as we delve into this video. Breathe in, Breathe out. All right, at this point, I will gladly shut the fuck up and send it over to your hosts, Zamoody, Renara, and, well, me. Hey, future me. Let's start the show.
You seem surprised that you mentioned yourself. It's not like you recorded your own intro or anything there, you know?
Huh?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Or as Fire and Brimstone calls it, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast, a podcast for voice actors by voice actors. Intro was by Eldurrino. So tell us how you really feel about the situation there, my friend.
We'll get into this as we proceed into this video, but I will just briefly say I see both sides of the argument here.
Okay.
And I respect other people's opinion.
Yes.
However, Paul is correct. He knows what he's talking about. He's been in the industry for a very long time, and he's specifically talking to those who want to make voice acting into a full-time career. Yes, there are the people that just want to, do it as a side gig or, for a hobby, and that's fine. That video is not for you. That's it.
Okay. If you have any questions that you'd like to talk, anything you would like us to talk about, please email us, ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com, or you can join our Discord. Link is in the description. Come on in, enjoy Fire and Brimstone's daily memes, and stay for some advice. So,
pretty sure today's was very low effort.
Five and cold. Oh,
yikes. Okay.
He'll take that personally, all right?
He's gonna re-meme you. Just a warning.
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
None of us are safe. None of us are safe.
If you have any audio you want us to listen to, we'd love to hear it. You can drop it off in the Discord, or you can email it to us again, ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com. Post yourself then.
Okay.
I love this.
Fire, there are at least two other co-hosts here that absolutely appreciate your daily memes. So don't listen to it.
I do too. Anything related to Shrek is super low effort IMO.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
It's my opinion. It's my opinion.
I'm stepping back
absolutely right. Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us. And let's go ahead and get started, and let's do check-ins. So let's check in with Renara. Renara, how's your week been?
I mean, from what I can remember of it, it's been okay. I think. I won't lie, it's been a bit of a blur, a bit of a haze of, I think the beginning of the week was, I'm getting chapter 5 done, whether I don't care about what the time is currently, I don't care, I'm staying up all night and finishing this. Because it was
that explains why you were up so late. Okay.
Done.
Hey, I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed that too. I wanted to message you and be like, go to bed.
No, I fucking refuse. It was this thing of, it's been lots of things have happened, and it kind of suffered from being put on the back burner for so long. But I was like, I'm finishing this now, and I also found out I have the capability of exporting in 4K, which I'm now going to be doing for the rest of these. And I'm so proud. I stumbled onto it, to be perfectly honest. But I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So,
and I was wondering about this, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, because I saw that you were rendering in 4K. Why?
Because I can.
I mean, your images are still. 1080 would be fine. It would cut the rendering time down. The audio wouldn't be affected. Why?
It was, though. It was. I could hear a difference. I genuinely could hear a difference. Whether that's just me at all, I don't know. I could hear a crisper difference with the 4K one. That was just me. I also plan on trying to use better images and things like that to just to up things a little bit here, there, and everywhere.
Placebo. Yeah.
Whatever.
Nice improv.
Thank you.
But fine, whatever. I got it out. Very proud of that. And then the rest of the week has just been sort of prepping for something that happened sort of yesterday, which was, I'm getting used to doing things I haven't done for a very, very, very long time. And so taking those small steps to do those, to get back into the swing of things, to fight the anxiety that comes with that, it takes a lot. And it was one of the scariest things I've ever done. I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to go too personal on
No,
that.
that's fine.
But it was just being able to get out of the house and going to do something that I haven't done for a very, very, very long time. And I think all of us in here can agree it's scary when that happens.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very proud of myself for doing that, for actually getting out and sort of starting that road of getting back into the swing of things again. And I did that today as well, with Grim. And going out and just sort of going into some stores that initially I'd be way too self-conscious about or something like that, and just making those small little improvements on personal side of things, really. So it's just doing that. And I'm then going to focus. I've got a couple of other things, not voice acting related, that I've got to do first before going back into sort of like really deep diving into voice acting again. But yeah, no, it's finding that balancing act and go, right, I've done this, now I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to come back to that. And it's just, yeah, that's how it is currently. The next couple of weeks are going to be a little bit bleh, but we'll see.
I like
Bleh.
Bleh.
I mean,
For
hey,
those who are listening, I'm shaking my hands.
if you have a plan in place, I mean, that's a start, and it's a good one. So
No plan survives first contact with the enemy, though. So.
Yes, 100%. Okay. Thank you for being here, Renara. Much appreciated. Eldurrino, how's your week been?
well, if you guys couldn't tell from my attitude and my intro, I am very pissed off.
Yeah.
Not just because of the things I discussed earlier, but what was it, Saturday? Yes, all day Saturday pretty much was just, it was terrible. I did get, I'll start off with the good thing. Or no, I'm sorry, no. Let's go the reverse order. So I was really trying to continue practicing my own craft in audio engineering and song mixing and whatnot, as well as trying to study more of the material. Well, as I've mentioned numerous times now, I have very loud neighbors that really like to argue with each other. It makes concentrating on anything almost impossible because they're literally right on the other side of the wall, and our walls are paper thin, essentially. So it just it made for a big waste of a day, basically.
Yikes.
And then,
There's more.
No one knows.
later on in the evening, I was looking at my email, and I saw that someone filed a chargeback request against me through PayPal.
No.
As it turns out, it is the ever haunting audiobook director,
Oh God.
whose grandfather was funding the project. So his grandfather decided to file a chargeback request on basically the last month or two
Of charges.
charges. Yeah. Because he doesn't know what's what.
So let me say this. To me, it sounds like he was funding it, but I don't think he was aware that he was funding it.
I came to that impression as well.
Yeah.
Because I did ask him, why not just talk this out and say that, that the payment to me and possibly other people who were in on the project, that it was, legitimate. And he gave me some canned response of his grandpa is mad and he just wants his money back. And
So his grandpa got hacked.
I mean, I even said, have him reach out to me, have him contact me directly.
Yeah.
I will be more than happy to explain the whole situation. Well, that didn't go anywhere. In fact, I always laugh at this little detail. Shortly after saying that, he said that his mother is now funding the project. So once that gets set up,
So he got mom's credit card.
Does she
Then-
know? Does she know she's doing that?
then we're gonna proceed with the project. And while I have yet to respond, my response is probably going to sound like, "Nah, I'm good. Bye."
Yeah.
So that's
Peace
very,
out.
very, very frustrating to have to deal with.
Yikes.
So yeah, that's I think pretty much all the crappy shit that happened to me. Crappy shit. Wow. But the good thing is I have been the other audio guy on that project. We share a very good connection when it comes to music. And
Oh, okay.
so we actually just finished putting a song together as of like this morning, I believe. And we are looking at putting together a project, which I don't want to get into details just yet, but it will hopefully be pretty cool and hopefully something that people will want to listen to.
Nice. Yeah. Very happy to hear that.
Yes. So tell us, Zamoody, how was your week?
I was waiting to see if Renara was going to say something too,
How
but
was
that's
your
fine.
week?
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's perfect.
Did you know that in the UK it is pronounced McDonald's and
Oh
not
my God.
McDonald's?
So Renara
It's
was
Mackie
telling
D's,
it.
guys.
No,
Come on.
it's Mickey D's.
Old
or
MacDonald
Mucky's.
had a farm.
Okay. So Renara was telling a story to us right before we started, and literally said the word McDonald's, and I stopped
McDonald's.
the story. It was record scratch. What the fuck? Did you say Mac, not Muck? And that turned.
McDonald's.
Oh my God. No, fire. That's not right.
Thank you, Fire.
Well,
Thank you.
you're on that side of the pond too. Everybody else, come on in and help me out, because my goodness. So after the show last week, these two wonderful people kind of sat me down and kind of twisted my head a little bit more in the right direction. So I got back in the booth.
Yay!
I started auditioning again for voices.com. I got 3 shortlists, and I literally got 1 direct message,
Hell yeah.
which a huge improvement from where I was before. The other thing that these two assisted me with is a sound issue I was having in there, and they were very, very helpful. So this is what I'm saying. If you have any problems, come into the Discord. We have a lot of helpful people. So yeah, I came down here with the intention of doing 3 auditions, and I think I put out 10 the first day. And I just kept going from there. So 2 of them were in Spanish. One of them produced the worst blooper reel ever.
Which is now made into an everlasting short.
Yes, thank you for that.
That's gonna be the meme that I'm gonna put out.
Oh God.
Something. Pick up.
Oh, my biggest one is like, what the fuck? Pick up.
Please come into our Discord to hear the whole wonderful clip provided.
I gotta say, roll fast, dude. I'm really happy. Like I was even saying to my fiance about this. Like I knew that as soon as you stepped foot back into the booth, that you were gonna start nailing roles and. 3 short listings.
Short listings, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like getting nominated for shit, but not getting it. But still, it was nice. Don't get me wrong.
But that's still a step forward.
Oh, 100%.
You can put out 100 auditions and get absolutely nowhere. You know.
Yeah. So
either way,
thank you, you two. I appreciate it. Shit, I was going to say something else.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Oh, the other thing I'm considering is reconfiguring the booth. I'm literally considering opening it, leaving the actual wood panel sides out on both sides, and then utilizing the wall inside to kind of double my space. Because I do feel a little compacted in there, and I was getting that echo thing. So I figured maybe because I don't have the road noise anymore. I don't really need so much sound treatment in there, or at least dampening, because I don't have that much background noise. Everything's really unless the dogs are going nuts. That's really the only time that I need it. I don't have noisy neighbors. I don't have cars going by anymore. So. Yeah. It's a thought, and honestly, I'm very seriously considering how I could do it, and we'll see what comes out of that. So, more to come. But it's a police box. It's bigger on the inside. You are absolutely right, Fire and Brimstone. This is why this is my TARDIS. Okay, so that's me. I'm looking forward to more stuff. Now, even if my wife is back, I've already told her, hey, I'm coming back down here. We're getting stuff done, and we're moving forward because I like money, and I like...
Don't we all?
Yeah. So with all that said, because I am using voices.com, here we go with Paul Schmidt's video. because it kind of does go down that particular road. Yes.
One small caveat. I know these two have watched this already. I am coming into this blind, so we'll see. We'll see. I know you two have differing opinions apparently on this.
Yes.
I've got like small bits and
Spoilers.
pieces from these two. So we'll see how this goes. I do not apologize for maybe the weird faces I'm about to pull. Let's go, Paul.
And again, if you would like to see those weird faces, please feel free to come into our YouTube. That is posted at the same time
yes.
as the everywhere where the podcasts go. So, all right, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so a student in my VO Freedom Master Plan sent me the following audition. Online ad, 2 years, worldwide usage, 5 60-second spots. Client, PayPal, a global brand who last year made $21.5 billion in revenue. Budget, $750 to $999. So for those of you that don't know, this at GVAA rates is about $120,000 worth of work for a professional voice actor. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
How dare they?
first, how dare PayPal? Well, I don't know if PayPal listed this job directly on Voices, but it seems unlikely. It probably came through an agency or a production house. But either way, PayPal is paying for a 2-year digital campaign here, which is quite frankly a drop in the bucket. In 2021, PayPal's marketing and advertising budget was $2.445 billion with a B dollars US. So how likely is it that PayPal is so tight with $2.445 billion to spend or more in 2023 that they need to shave off $119,000 off of a $120,000 voiceover job? But even if they are, PayPal is not the problem. So next you say, well, how dare the ad agency or production company? Yes, how dare they? If you're big enough to work with global, multi-billion-dollar brands like PayPal, then you're big enough to pay professional talent a professional and reasonable rate. So by all appearances, you're either leaving money on the table or you're stealing money from pro voice talent. But regardless, even if the agency or the production company is responsible for this ridiculous budget for voiceover, they are still not the problem. Now, it could be that Voices is back to doing what we've known them to do in the past and may still be practicing, which is pocketing for themselves the lion's share of the budget. But it still seems unlikely that they would pocket $119,000 out of $120,000 for this job. But regardless, even if they are doing that, Voices is still not the problem. It's easy to blame the platforms. It's convenient to blame the clients. It's effortless to blame the production houses and the ad agencies. But the clients are not the cause of low voiceover rates. The agencies and the production companies and the platforms are not the cause of low voiceover rates. The cause of low voiceover rates is, and always has been, voice actors. We are the problem. We get what we tolerate. We are the cause of rate erosion in our business. It's not the platforms. It's not the pay-to-plays. It's not Fiverr or Upwork or Voice Bunny or anything else. The problem is us. We are the cancer. Interesting word, cancer. It's defined as the uncontrolled division of abnormal cells within the body. And that's exactly what we have in voiceover. Uncontrolled division. In that first hour after that PayPal audition was published, over 130 voice actors knowingly and willingly auditioned for that job. No one forced them. Nobody coerced them. They read the specs, which in this case were absolutely clear and explicit, and they happily auditioned anyway. There can only be 2 possible reasons for that choice. Number 1, they didn't know any better. Now, not everybody can be expected to know everything all the time, especially newer voice actors. It's not always apparent to newer voice actors what professional rates are. Sometimes voice actors that aren't so brand new. I had a voice actor just this week reach out to me who I know for a fact has been out there seeking work in this business for well over a year, and she just flat out asked me, and I'm glad she did, by the way, I don't know what to charge for voiceover. Help me. After over a year. Reason number 2. You know what appropriate rates are, and you just don't care. If you're just out to get the gig, and you don't care how low you have to go or whom you have to undercut to get that money, you're a hack and a thief. Get out of the business. You don't give a damn about anybody else but yourself. You are the cancer eating the rest of the organism. You're a disease, and you need to be removed from the body of voiceover. We need to do better. We need to stop blaming the platforms and the clients and the ad agencies and the production companies and artificial intelligence and whomever. We, as a group of professionals, as providers of valuable business services to the world, we need to stand for that value. We need to stop blaming the platforms and the freelancer sites and the agencies and the clients and the production companies, because the fact is that none of those external forces can erode our rates and commoditize our business without our consent and without our participation. We get what we tolerate. We train people to treat us the way that they do. And by our tolerance and by our capitulation, we manifest that thing which we bitch about and rail about and complain about and fear the most. We are active participants in our own demise. And it has to stop. Now, only we have the power to stop inappropriate rates. If we, as a group and as individuals, just stop agreeing to shitty rates, then they will either disappear or they will go to AI, leaving the better work for us human professional voice actors anyway. I talked to a big-time major casting director at one point who told me, look, we fight and fight and fight and fight for the best possible rates we can get for talent. But sometimes we have to cast at rates that even we don't like. And we hope that talent do not audition for those bad rates, because that's the only way that you hold on to your power. Now, there are 3 solid steps that you can take to help stop the spread of, we'll call it rate erosion cancer in our business. Number 1.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's a good message. It's coming in very, very bluntly.
Yes.
And it's coming in probably ears that are not, obviously didn't appreciate it. Like I said, I don't agree with Paul. Don't get me wrong. I admire Paul, and this isn't the first time I've been on the other side of the fence when it comes to
what specifically do you disagree with?
The way the solution is going to happen. Because I personally can say I'm not going, and I kind of have in a way where I'm saying I'm not going to do any more free jobs. I've moved on to the next step. Yes. But if I don't put in for the $1,000 jobs or the $500 jobs, there's 60 people behind me that are fucking going to take it.
Sure.
I've got to stay competitive in that particular aspect in order to be able to earn anything. And especially something I can put on my resume at this particular level. At Paul's level, he has got everything. He's got the training, he's got the experience, he's got the marks. Great for you, buddy. Hey, don't get me wrong. You want to charge as much as you want to charge. More power to you. You deserve it. Mm-hmm. But don't knock me down. Don't call me cancer because I'm trying to lay a foundation.
Right. And I certainly agree with the use of the word cancer in this, even when he used the technical definition of it being an uncontrollable division of abnormal cells in the body. overall, that is not the right word to use, like, because
I
nothing
can agree
about
with
that, nothing about that word nor that definition says anything good about it. And I
No.
also don't agree with him saying, if you accept lower rates, you're only in it for yourself. You're a thief and a hack, and you should leave the business or leave the industry. I don't agree with that at all, because not everyone is looking to make this into a full-time career. That being said, this video is oriented to those who are working professionals, not for novices, not even for intermediates. It is more geared towards those who have, quit their full-time desk job and are solely doing voice work.
I'll stop for a second. I'll let Renara say something here.
It's fine. I'm trying to put it together because this is a lot. And I agree with the whole term of the word, using the term cancer. I don't think that was I feel like that was a play to get an emotional response. And I don't particularly like him using that term. Even again, you've said it very well, actually, I think, Eldurrino, in the sense of using that term, even with the term, you're going to get a negative reaction with that, especially what it's about. Yeah. The thing that's running in my head is the chicken and the egg concept of what came first, because in the sense of I think there's blame. I don't want to use the term blame. There is power on both sides, and I think I don't know where it started or how it started. I put my own rates out. I've taken Paul's advice. I can only speak for my own experience. I've taken Paul's advice. I looked at Gravy for the Brain. I've put my rates up that follow that. But even then, I can sit here and say, yeah, I'm not going to take any jobs for that. But you've got people who perhaps at this moment in time need to take those jobs, like Zamoody was saying. And it's the thing of, I don't know. I find this really difficult I can't pick a side in this regard. I can see his point. I can see from a professional standpoint, someone who's been in this industry for the longest time on a different level to most of us here can see this side and see this as being that. But he does have a position of power in that he is sitting on a comfortable network. And can say these things. I think there is a element of freedom for him that he can say these things. This industry is so varied. It is art. It is purely art. And business, to a degree, is also a form of art, is how I see it, because it's commodity. Yes, there's transactions involved and there's more maths involved, but there is an element to bringing it to life in your own manner, and that's individual to the person. Everyone's situation is different. And I think I agreed with his first term. People may not know. People really might not have all of the information heading out, so they may think that's a good idea to take that job. Yeah. And to some people, it is. And that's okay for them. But to say, and the second point kind of threw me a little bit when he said that, and then he said the second one. I was like, I did nod, and I did agree, because I was following his train of thought at the time going through that video. And from his perspective, yes, I can totally see why he said that. But then hearing Zamoody's points, and I kind of go, that's the other side of the fence. And it is entirely down to perspective. And I think we've got a similar point. You know when Troy Baker said something and everyone got in arms?
Well, that was an NFT thing, so he was wrong on that.
But I know, but it's that similar power dynamic, and nobody likes somebody in a position of power dictating something. And I think that's why we've had this massive backlash, because to the average layperson, to the average voice actor, Paul is in a position of power. He really is. He has more power than I'd say many of us actually have. So I think people have reacted in the stereotypical way people do on the internet, which is, oh my God, no, he called us cancer. And I think take what he says with the understanding of where he is and what you said, Eldurrino, of this is for people who are thinking of really making this full time. And in the businesses of business, it's cutthroat. And small bits and pieces, it's cutthroat. And there's that element of we need to understand that cutthroatiness, and sitting on your sitting on your high horse can
lead to starvation.
Yes. I'm in a position where I'm not going to settle for less, and I will suffer from that, and I understand that, and I'm going to stick with what the advice Paul has given, because I agree with Eldurrino that he's a veteran voice actor. He's been in this business for a very, very long time.
Absolutely.
So I take his factual information that he gives in his videos, and I take that as face value. But there is a lot of emotive language in this video, which is what's colouring quite a lot of this. So I'm trying to look past all of that and go, right, what are the facts in this? And that's why I'm kind of struggling to figure out, okay, so who there's both people, people taking lower rates, yes, that's a problem. Companies doing that and doing that is also
not the companies,
though.
You can't blame the companies.
No, but again, the reality of the fact is you're not going to get people not taking those jobs, and so I don't think, and I'm worried. He said, "Let it go to AI," because we all know what's going to happen with that, and I'm just going. AI does not need any more. And part of me is kind of going, I'd much rather a human person, take it than it go to an AI. I think that's where that's the most palpable thing I think I sat on with that. On the overall with this video, I'm just going to say I'm looking at the facts. I can see both sides. I, as an individual, can't. I've got my morals. I've got my standards. That's what I'm going to stick to. But I can't dictate what anyone else in this industry is going to do.
Exactly.
No one can. So it's. If there was less emotive language in this video, I think it would have had a different response. And I think that's my conclusion with this.
Oh, no, yeah, there's still more. There's still more to come.
I'm waiting to see so is this his solution we're about to go into?
Kind of, yes. Okay.
Okay. Right.
And we'll get into the Reddit responses, because I even think some of the points that Paul is taking in Reddit is not the best route to go at when it comes to this stuff, too.
I mean, truthfully, talking to anybody on Reddit is a terrible, terrible idea.
Good lords.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in just a second. Let's continue with the video and finish up these. We got about 4.5 minutes left. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the USA or Canada, use the GVAA rate guide at vorateguide.com. Use it, stick to it, live by it. You do not have to come up with your own rate card. If you are quoting at or above GVAA rates, then you are doing your part to stop the spread of inappropriate rates in our business. If you're outside the U.S., use the Gravy for the Brain rate guide at rates.gravyforthebrain.com. Also, if you're quoting a client in another country, quote the rates that are sufficient and appropriate for your home country. Why? Because you pay taxes and are subject to the cost of living in your own home country. That's where your expenses are, regardless of where the client may be in the world. Number 2, when you have the time at every turn, make it your personal responsibility to educate talent, clients, prospects, whomever it may be, on appropriate rates and why they exist. We have tools to do this. We have a rate guide in our business. My God, it's a luxury. Many other businesses, many other creative freelancers don't even have agreed upon rates, and we do. Let's use them, and let's use them for the good of the business. Will there always be unethical and predatory buyers and clients out there? Absolutely. But let's do our part to educate the vast majority of ethical people who do care, who are professional, who want to do the right thing. And number 3, stop making excuses. Well, I'm new. I can't possibly charge that much. Yes, you can. A new doctor doesn't charge less for surgery, less than somebody that's been practicing for 40 years. Your plane ticket costs the same whether you've got a rookie pilot or somebody that's been flying for 35 years. You don't get to charge less because you're new. The only reason to charge subpar rates is for subpar performance. It's because you're not properly trained and can't deliver the goods. The answer to sucking is not charging less. The answer to sucking is getting proper training and getting really good at what you do. Oh, the economy is bad and AI is coming and the market is saturated. All shit you can't control, but what you can control is how you respond to inappropriate rates, how you stand up for value for yourself and for your fellow voice actors. The sky is not falling. Never in the history of this business has there ever not been external market forces providing pressure. You either learn to live with the world as it is, or you choose to become a victim. The truth is, there is more voice work out there and more voice actors providing more value to more clients than there ever has been in history. Will there be dips? Absolutely. Will there be rapid and massive change? You bet your lungs there will be. But you can only control what's within your sphere of control. How good you are as a voice actor, how consistently you stand up for fair market rates, how well you market your services. We choose to hold our power or to give it away. We get what we tolerate. The VO Freedom Master Plan teaches voice actors a proven system to grow relationships at scale that lead to consistent booking, business, revenue, and income. For more information, click the link in the description or show notes. And to get my Thursday free Move, Touch, Inspire newsletter for voice actors, click that link in the description or show notes below as well. If you got value from this video, if you feel like this video would help educate other newer voice actors, or maybe not so new voice actors, or prospects, or clients, or whomever, then help us out with a like, a subscribe, a follow, and hit that notification bell on YouTube so you'll be the first to know when we publish a new video. I'm super grateful for your support. Thank you so much for watching and for contributing to the conversation here. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again next week.
Okay. I wanted to be fair. I
Okay.
want to make sure to give him as much.
Of course.
Yeah, no. That's fine.
All right. So let me go ahead and turn this one off. And we'll turn on the Reddit thread, which I will also link for everybody here, as well as anybody. So there's a couple of comments that came in. That was a bad comparison.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Really
is that
bad
was said by
comparison.
Fire and Brimstone.
Yeah, very
and-
bad comparison. That was one of my one of the things I was going to talk about. I mean, Eldurrino, if you want to.
I just wanted to say real quick, yeah, the doctor comparison, kind of the same, but not quite. And the airline one, I don't agree with that one at all. That's not a fair comparison. That's apples to oranges. He did, in the comments, though, on this video, make a better comparison about those who are looking to start, like, a plumbing business or any type of maintenance work.
Yes.
That
Okay.
can
That's
be
much better.
plumbing, electrical, stuff like that. Something where, yes, you have to have the training, you have to invest in tools and a vehicle to transport yourself and your tools. That is more closely related to us as voice actors. You need to get the training on how to properly voice act and how to use your voice to do certain things, as well as investing in microphone, sound booth, computer, possibly. Like, there's a number of different expenses that fall along with that.
Okay, so I put up the Reddit thread so we can see it. So real quick, and following into your thing, when you're getting surgery, when you're booking an airplane ride or flight, you're going to a company who has trained those individuals, who has done all that.
That was what I was going to say. Yeah.
And that's completely different. For me, if I go to a professional plumber, I know I'm going to get charged $200, $250 an hour to get shit done.
Right.
I don't have that money. I'll go to Home Depot, talk to the dudes that are outside, and I'm going to negotiate those prices and get it to $25, $50 and come on in. Let's get the shit done. That's how I kind of see this. I'm the dude outside with the sign at Home Depot most of the time, getting that experience.
And yes, that actually. So, there was another comment as well. I don't think it was on the subreddit, but it was saying, you have to give a little bit of leeway. It's not like you shouldn't see it as you're either a novice, you're a professional, and there's no in between. Because there certainly is. Like there is certainly hobbyists. There's part time. Even in like even plumbers. Like when you're just starting your business, yes, you have the training, yes, you have the equipment, but not all plumbers charge the same amount, regardless if they have a company or not. I've worked with plumbers that charge me $100 for 30 minutes. I've worked with ones that basically gave it to me for free because it was like nothing, like it all really depends on who you're working with. So I certainly think there is an in between. And I do hope that Paul eventually recognizes that. While I do agree, you should always fight for better rates. Like,
Absolutely.
You deserve to be paid what you've invested and more, but like you have to build your way up to it. I'm sorry, but it's not just, okay, I'm done with my training and I'm done with everything else. Like, please pay me, $1,000
$250 an hour or 2 hour minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
So the immediate thing I got from this was he wants every single voice actor, whether you're SAG-AFTRA or the union or not, to behave like you're in the union.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I got from this, because he's asking every single person, despite their situation, to stick to certain industry rates. Now, everything he said, like I'm going to say every single point he said there, I, to a degree, looking at them as just factual based things, yeah, I can agree with those. But the thing is, it was the way he said them. And the way he said them was almost like an order, telling you this is what you have to do.
Right.
No one is going to respond well to that, especially if you're not in the same power level.
Yes.
And
100%.
I mean, I think every single person here has taken on that technically educate role, but nobody wants to be educated on things, if that makes any sense. Because
you basically you don't want that kind of like condescending, I'm looking down upon you for thinking or doing differently than me.
Yeah.
Of course,
it's
nobody
learning as you go.
It. Yes.
No.
Right.
And I think he well-placed information-based factual ideas to move forward was presented in that last point. And yeah, I think I'm one to respond well to. This is what you this is good. This is good stuff. But again, I keep getting pulled back to the thing of he's it's too emotional. It's too emotional, and some of that stuff, some of the good stuff he's talking about gets lost in that.
Yes.
And that's the problem. Because every single, it's the problem of, I think I've said it in the other ones, really, to be honest, because not everyone's going to feel comfortable educating another person on this, because not everyone feels they can do that. And then you'll have some voice actors or voiceover artists who will charge for that sort of thing as well. So you've got a different, it's so varied, and it just, again, it harkens back to, and I'm going to work off of how this is felt. It's just, you've got your average voice actor looking up to Paul, and then Paul's just gone in a slightly more emotive way than he normally does in his other videos, has just basically spoken at the camera and told the viewer, this is how this has got to go.
No, and what he's saying is, if you want it to get better, you need to fucking do it this way.
Yeah.
Which,
and that's, and nobody takes that direction easily.
Yeah, no, it's not. And then and that's why you get people who've done the thing. There is nobody is at fault, yet everyone's at fault, I think, in this, because if that makes any sense, because it's so, there's, I don't know.
Well, again,
I can't.
I really think that this video is geared towards working professionals, but there's still there still has to be that leeway. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually just thought of a somewhat better example.
Mm.
Musicianship. Think about
Mm.
think about the concerts that you've been to. Think about how varied ticket prices are. It's not just the
Okay.
box office,
Yeah.
that is well, I mean, they have they have a good control over ticket prices, but overall the band and the band's management is who decides how much money they're going to make off of it. I just went to a show that had a very high profile band that's been playing for a while. I paid $35 to get into that
Hmm.
versus I could go see Metallica for $300.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's there's that variety there. Like someone
Yeah.
who is. I mean, this band has been around. I'll just say it's Under Oath. Under Oath has been around for 20 years at least. Whereas Metallica has been around for maybe 40. And you look at the difference in ticket prices just between those two. Like
Well, it's
they're
not even
abs.
that. I
Well, I'm
like
just
I like your example, and this is why a garage band getting a gig at a freaking bar may
yes.
not get very much money. Maybe get their drinks, or maybe get like $50 each.
Yeah.
But that's the start. That's how you go on.
Yeah.
I see this as exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not
There
going
is
to
a degree, yeah.
book. I mean, don't get me wrong. Voices.com gives me a lot of opportunities because I did a HelloFresh audition.
Yeah.
I've done those other named stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get that normally off of Twitter and everything else. I would be working with little bars and stuff. But those opportunities are huge for me in order for me to be able to rank up, to move up to the next part. Moving in from the bars, moving into like a smaller venue, and eventually getting
It's
to
the
the
journey,
stadium.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I
But
agree.
to
I
cut
agree.
that
You should,
off
yeah.
with his speech is to a lot of people making them angry.
Because I cannot get behind new voice actors charging those rates. I think that if that makes sense, because and it goes back to the sort of training analogy of with a doctor, they've had years of training, they've done all of that, and then they go into the job and then they can charge that, if that makes sense. They've done
Yes.
that sort, and that's
Well, that's investment.
it's on its flip, yeah. But that's I think a good analogy is all of that training is where most of the voice actors are, and then when a doctor gets a job, that's when a voice actor gets maybe into a union. Like
Right.
that's the sort of thing I think how you can look at it that way, and it's just it's part of that journey, and we've talked about you start off small and then you work your way up.
Right.
Everyone, and I think. Once you feel comfortable to charge the rates that he recommends, and I do recommend those, the ones that he like, his points are valid. They're valid.
Yeah.
But not everyone is going to be in a position to take that on at the minute. And everyone's journey is so different, so varied, different living situations. You can't account for that. You can't account for that.
And not only that, but one very important detail that I don't think we've even talked about yet is whether it be acting or playing an instrument or maybe even doing sports professionally, it takes a very long time to get to like top of the ladder.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
again, going back to the musicianship side, bands will start touring and whatnot, and they will charge relatively low amounts because while they do know how to play their instruments, they don't necessarily they may not necessarily be on that same like experience level, if you will. Whereas a band like Metallica or something like that, they've been in the game for 40 years now, something like that. And like obviously it shows because they're playing huge stadiums to huge crowds and whatnot. I don't think it's fair necessarily to compare freelancing, which musicianship certainly is freelancing, to like a doctor position, where in a doctor position you're going to school for 8 to 12 years, like minimum, and then you start charging those rates. Usually with a band, it's you learn, or any artistic expression job, you're doing it for a year or two maybe, and then you start charging money as you continue learning and growing and et cetera, and then people start charging more.
It harkens back to know your own worth. and it's sort of figuring out where you are on that journey. And I think, well, I know we never say compare yourself to other people, but finding other voice actors that might be in a similar maybe time period of how long they've been doing it, or same sort of situation, type of booth, and looking at where perhaps those people are and making your own not assumptions, was it? Own judgments and decisions on what you think is the best rate currently at your skill level, and to never compromise on your own principles. I think that's the thing. And I think I agree, educate, learn, but also we're all on our own journey. You can't conform this entire industry to just one set of rates. I think
you could. Don't get me wrong, you could, but you need everybody on board.
Yeah,
and that's not going to happen. There's no fucking way that you can get, you're at the 1% echelon of this business, and you're trying to get the other 99% to do this.
Well, okay, so I'll make 2 points here. One, I think that Paul's overall goal is to kind of structure this type of career into more, you graduate out of high school, you go take this training or schooling or whatnot for 2 to 4 years, and then, yes, you start immediately charging professional rates. Yes, that would certainly be the ideal situation, and I guess probably something a lot of us would like to see, because, I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's not really, like, a school, per se, that teaches you about voice acting. There's acting school, which you could certainly do, but, there's the nuances in between.
So basically, you're just saying there's no, like, major, there's no, like, college certificate. Yeah, okay. Because there are many prestigious schools online and stuff that, you go to and you're like, you went to this one. But, there is no college-level university type.
But you'd need to take a course in acting, and you'd need to take a course in business as well, because the two go hand in hand in the voice acting industry.
I'll even add in communication and maybe media broadcast.
Well, I think, the media broadcast, I think networking, they kind of teach you about when it comes to business school. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's, they kind of teach you, like, reach out to people, essentially teaching you how to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And now I forget what my other point was.
Sorry, Eldurrino. Didn't mean to derail you.
No, I did that too earlier, so I was due one.
I can see the value in it. I can see the value in having that structure, and I can see the value in when having that structure in place can also possibly make it easier for laws to get put in place and change, and perhaps safeguard certain things on that front. I get that, but he's one voice, and I get he's trying to get everyone involved in this.
Oh,
I don't know how.
The point it was.
You're welcome.
And now it's gone.
Goddamn it! Are you shitting me? Did you just fucking squirrel on the show?
Hold on. Keep talking.
Oh my god! By the way, here's your short, Renara. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Hi, future me.
Okay, and again, I know I have a full level of respect for Paul. I don't expect Matt Mercer. I don't expect Troy Baker. I don't expect any of them to do shit for pennies on the dollar. No. And again, this is probably one of his excuses that he's talking about. And don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's great if you're. And don't get me wrong. He put how much money he earned last year. $183,950.
Right.
Fuck, dude.
But he's also been in the game for at least 20 years, 2 decades. 2 decades.
Yeah.
My point,
the point right to make that
I wanted to make before I forget again, is that if you are making enough income that you can quit your normal day job and make voice acting into a full-time gig, you should be charging professional rates.
Yeah.
And I believe that is the point that he is trying to make. If you are making this a full-time career, you should be charging higher rates.
And I can get behind that.
You've obviously secured enough work, consistent work, to be able to pay the bills. So why wouldn't you pay what everyone else is charging?
Yeah.
Let me also add on, when it comes to the video, I don't hear that distinction. I really don't. At no point does he say, this is for these people, not for everybody. And even his defenses on Reddit, like the post is on BA and it's in the description, it all points to Everybody should be doing this. Otherwise, you are in it for yourself. I'm sorry to say, guess what? This is a business. This is me earning money. I am in it for myself.
Yes, it's freelancing, and this is, what the industry is like. Sure, obviously you can, collaborate with every other voice actor under the sun, just the same way that bands get along and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like, they're trying to make money. It's their job. And especially when it comes to acting, like, you have to do whatever you can, or else you're going to lose out on some really great opportunities.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to do a small sum up of, I can agree with that with Zamoody. That distinction is not made, but I can, from what you've said, Eldurrino, can infer that after having this discussion. And I think I agree that should kind of be how it is. Once you get to the point where you are doing this full time, proper, like actually going into it, yes, industry standard rates, go with those. I take all of the bits of knowledge he's put into that video. Understand, I get it. I'm taking that in, but again, it all gets lost in this emotive language, and the way he's presented it has caused people to overlook certain things. This is why we discuss this. This is why we come to these conclusions. It's to explain these things that can sometimes get lost in emotion, which I think is what's happened with this video. And I think both with Paul and with the Reddit, and I think the message that he's trying to say, I think, is a good one. And I think if it was a bit more clearly defined, would have gotten a better response.
And I certainly get, he's very blunt, no bullshit kind of person, which honestly, I respect that a lot, because that's how I learn the best. But being compared to cancer isn't a nice feeling.
No one likes that. No
I'm just trying to, I understand, you want. I obviously want to help out other voice actors as much as I can as well. I just did so right at the beginning of this episode. I said, good job, Zamoody. I'm so proud of you for getting back in that booth and getting shortlisted and doing whatever you need to. But at the same time, I got money to make, so ease off, Paul. I love you.
We love you, Paul. We love you. This is all.
I love to end that here on that in a particular note. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Fire and Brimstone. Thank you, Magmorta. Thank you for everybody who was present. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. Let me know where you're coming from. Love to see a comment. Anything that resonated with you, anything you didn't like, put it in the comments. Let's go ahead and get that comment section active. Leave us a like if you can. Give us a follow. We're getting close to that 100 mark, and we'd love to get there. If you have any questions, anything you want us to talk about, please, you can email us, ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com, or you can join our Discord. Link is going to be in the description. Come in for the memes, stay for the advice. If you have any questions, we have a good network of people that we can tap, and we will get your answer, or we will chip in. And keep in mind, this is all our opinions or our best experience. If you have any audio, you can come in and you can just drop it in the Discord. We'll listen to it. We do also have the intro going on. So if community wants to make an intro, there's some rules. Come on in, check it out. We'd love to hear your intro, giving everybody your tips and your advice. So with all of that, I think it's my turn for an intro. I have an idea already of what I'm going to do.
Nice.
You're not like me and, forget until 24 hours before it's supposed to be done.
Do I need to see when this file was created, Dorino? Because I haven't done that so far.
It was last night. I finished it. Whenever I posted it was like 9 p.m. or something for me. I was sitting there on my desk and I was like, oh yeah, I got to do intro. Fuck.
If you get a chance, please go check out Paul Schmidt VO over at YouTube. His videos are great. I love the animation that he puts in there. I love the little jokes. He gives out great advice. And again, I have the greatest level of respect with him. We just tend to disagree on some stuff. I see it one way and it's completely okay. This is
healthy too.
Yes. Change can't happen without dialogue. Plain and simple.
Discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. Eldurrino, remember, no water before the next stream.
Never gonna happen, buddy.
If you want to check out the chat, if you want to be joined while we're doing the live recording, we do this at twitch.tv/Zamoody. It happens at noon Pacific every single Sunday, or
8 p.m. for all of us tea and crumpet people, although it wasn't for the last two because your clocks changed and ours hadn't, so we had quite a few people miss them. But now it's fine. It is 8 o'clock now.
Okay. Guys, final words of encouragement. Anybody?
It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have your own opinions and differing things, but having a healthy discussion about it is how change is brought forward and how we all grow as human beings.
Nice.
And on top of that, I will say, feel free to disagree with anything we have said during this episode, but please do it respectfully, as we have the utmost respect for Paul and you, dear listener.
Absolutely. If you don't be afraid to get back in there, because you may find that you absolutely missed it, and you're going to have a ton of fun doing it again. With all that, we're going to check out. And by the way, Paul, if you see the thumbnail, you're welcome. Also, if you have any responses for us, let us know. We'll be more than happy to discuss it. We'll catch you all next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you later. Remember to drink water.
There it is.
There it is.